This video is about the alpha loved the cursed one and his pack feared them both. If this story captivates you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. The moon hung low over the forest, casting a silvery glow that wrapped the world in whispers of magic. The air thickened with the scent of pine and damp earth, carrying the unspoken tension of a pack on edge. Harlan, the alpha of the Shadow Claw pack, stood at the edge of the clearing, his sharp gaze sweeping over his members. He could feel their knees, their fear that coiled tighter with every passing moment. "Alpha, we can trust her," hissed Braden, Harlan as second in command, his voice low and urgent. Her kind? Harlan interrupted, his voice a growl that echoed in the stillness. "You mean the cursed? She is not just a curse, she is a person, Braden, the person who saved my life." The name of the cursed one was whispered among the pack like a dark omen. Alara, the one marked by the ancient hex that twisted fate and bound her to darkness. A family had suffered generations because of their lineage, each member bearing the burden of a curse that drove fear into the hearts of werewolves. Harlan's heart raced as he thought of her. Alara, with her raven hair cascading like a midnight waterfall, and eyes that sparkled with defiance against a world that wished to shun her. "You don't understand," he said, his voice softer now. "There is something about her, something that calls to me. Don't let your feelings blind you, Alpha," Braden warned, his brow furrowed. "You risk the safety of the pack, you risk everything." Harlan's jaw clenched. "You don't know what it is like to feel this bond. It is more than just instinct, it is fate." As if summoned by his thoughts, the shadows shifted, and Alara stepped into the clearing. The pack stilled. Her presence alone was enough to send shivers down their spines. She wore a simple, tattered dress that hugged her form, its edges frayed as if it had seen too many battles. Harlan's heart ached at the sight of her. "Please, don't," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I didn't come here to cause trouble." Her eyes flickered with uncertainty, and Harlan felt the pull of his wolf, urging him to protect her. "Not trouble, Alara, just a misunderstanding," he replied, stepping closer, his instincts igniting in a way that left both exhilaration and dread coursing through him. "They fear what they don't know." Everyone knew the stories of the cursed ones, the lost souls who brought misfortune and chaos to any path they approached. Alara's family had suffered at the hands of misunderstanding and superstition. Harlan had learned to see beyond that, but his pack was a different story. Braden stepped forward, tension radiating from him. "We can allow her to stay here, Alpha. The curse is real. It affects us all." "Maybe it is time to stop believing in old tales," Harlan snapped, his gaze unwavering. "Alara is not here to harm us. She saved my life during the last hunt. You should be grateful." "Grateful?" Braden barked, disbelief lacing his tone. "For inviting doom into our midst?" Alara squared her shoulders, her voice steady. "I promise I won't harm anyone. I just want to be left alone." "Leave?" Harlan echoed, the word tearing at his heart. "You can just leave. You belong here with me, with us." The silence that enveloped the clearing was heavy, laden with unspoken words and emotions that simmered just below the surface. Alara's eyes glistened under the moonlight, and Harlan caught the glimmer of tears threatening to fall. "Don't say that," she whispered, her voice tremulous. "I can bring your pack suffering because of my presence. You are not a burden, Alara." The sincerity in Harlan's voice cut through the tension. "You are my mate. The world may not understand, but the moon has chosen you for me." Gasps erupted from the pack, disbelief etched across their faces. Harlan's declaration hung in the air like a fragile promise. Alara took a step back, her eyes wide with shock and fear. "No, you can mean that. It is a curse to love me." "Your destiny isn't always kind, but it is ours to shape," he said, taking a step closer. The rest of the pack watched in a mix of horror and fascination, their loyalties torn between the Alpha and the cursed one. "Your pack won't accept this, Harlan." Alara's voice trembled as she spoke. "You'll only bring more danger to yourself." "Let them fear," Harlan replied, his gaze spinning with determination. "I will protect you. I can fight for what we have." Braden scoffed, stepping between them. "You're a fool to think you can go against the law of the packs. This love will tear us apart." The words struck like a dagger. Harlan's wolf stirred, urging him to defend Alara, but he wrestled with the resentment brewing within the pack. "We are stronger together, Braden. You of all people should know that." Alara's expression softened, but uncertainty clouded her features. "You have a duty, Harlan. The future of your pack is at stake." He reached for her hand, fingers brushing against hers as a spark ignited between them. And I choose you, Alara, whatever the consequence is, I choose you. Just then, a howl echoed through the night, a chilling sound that cut through their moment. It was a call from the neighboring pack, a warning. Harlan's chest tightened as the realization dawned. They were onto him, they knew what he had done. Alpha, we should retreat. Braden shouted, panic rising in his voice. This could be a trap. I wanted to abandon her. Harlan's voice was a thunderclap, filled with fierce protectiveness. We stand our ground. Alara looked between them, fear creeping into her heart. Harlan, please, if they come for me, I'll be the curse they fear. I want to let you fight for a lost cause. I will fight for you, he vowed, an unwavering intensity in his gaze. You are not lost to me. We will find our way together. The howl grew closer, a haunting melody of the night filled with danger. Tension crackled in the air, and the pack's unease transformed into something more palpable, fear mingled with loyalty, instinct screaming to defend their own. The moon shone brighter, illuminating the path that lay ahead. As shadows danced through the trees, Harlan understood that love was not merely a bond, it was a battle. And in this wild, untamed world, their fate was intertwined, the Alpha and the Cursed One, standing against the storm. Together, he murmured, holding Alara's gaze. No matter what happens, we face this together. As the first figures emerged from the shadows, Harlan's heart raced, but so did Alara's pulse, echoing a song of defiance. It was a promise, a pledge of love ignited by destiny, a flicker of hope against the looming darkness. This was just the beginning of their fight, the battle for acceptance, for love, and for a future that dared to challenge the curses of the past. Across the clearing, the opposing pack advanced, eyes gleaming with intent, and the chilling breeze whispered of the chaos that was yet to come. But Harlan and Alara stood strong, united against the tide. And as the moon bore witness to their bond, they were ready to rewrite their story. The shadows grew long as the rival pack emerged from the depths of the forest, their faces illuminated by the moonlight. Harlan's heart thudded against his ribcage, each beat a battle cry urging him to protect Alara. He felt her warmth beside him, her presence grounding him in the chaos. You shouldn't be here, Alara, Braden hissed, anxiety dancing in his eyes. You were only making this worse. Enough. Harlan's growl echoed through the clearing, silencing his second in command. They were here for us, and I want to let them harm her. The words were filled with an urgency Harvey recognized. Alara squeezed his hand, her grip trembling. But what if they rewrite? She whispered. What if my curse brings destruction to your pack? The leader of the rival pack, a tall figure with silver fur and piercing blue eyes, stepped forward with a smirk. So the great Harlan has chosen the Cursed One, how quaint. The laughter that followed was mockingly rich, breaking the tension like glass shattering on the ground. You think it is a joke? Harlan snapped, his voice low and dangerous. You think you can waltz in here and belittle my choice? You know nothing of our bond. I know everything about curses, the rival Alpha replied, taking another step closer. She has a blight on your pack, Alpha. You resealing your fate by keeping her close. You'd be better off without her. Alara's eyes widened, the fear palpable in her expression. Harlan's heart ached for her, knowing the weight of what she carried. You don't know her, he said, his voice firm, drawing strength from the bond they shared. Alara saved my life, and for that, I will stand by her. Saved your life? The rival Alpha laughed again, a cruel sound that made the hairs on Harlan's neck rise. And now you will sacrifice your pack for her? You are a fool, Harlan. The curse runs deep. In that moment, the air crackled with tension, the instincts of the wolves roaring to the surface. Harlan could feel the pack's fear mingling with his own protectiveness. You want to fight? He challenged, stepping forward, his body taut with readiness. Then let us settle this here and now. Alara, go! Braden shouted, panic evident in his voice. You must leave the Sissinti or fight. What? Harlan's shout was fierce enough to quiet the commotion. She is here and she stays. If they want to take her, they'll have to go through me. Then we'll see how truly strong you are, the rival Alpha snarled. Attack! With a thunderous roar, the opposing pack lunged forward, and chaos erupted in the clearing. Harlan's instincts kicked in, and he found himself fighting fiercely, defending Alara with every ounce of strength he possessed. He could feel her presence, unwavering behind him, urging him to push forward. But amid the clashing bodies and growls, Harlan's attention kept drifting to Alara. She moved with a surprising grace, dodging the chaos while her eyes remained locked on him. Harlan, to your left, she shouted, her voice cutting through the sounds of battle. He turned just in time to dodge an attack aimed at his flank. The rival pack's members were relentless, fueled by rage and a desire to see him fail. Harlan felt the weight of his pack on his shoulders, the loyalty they had placed in him. Foolish Alpha, the rival leader taunted, lunging at Harlan with renewed fury. You think love can save you? Love isn't just a feeling, Harlan roared back, meeting the challenge head-on. It is a force that can shape destinies. I fight for what is right. With a powerful thrust, he knocked the rival Alpha back, their eyes locking in a moment of mutual respect shadowed by animosity. But the rival leader wasn't done yet. Harlan could sense the shift in energy, the anticipation of a final blow. Do you feel that? The rival Alpha taunted, his voice dripping with malice. The curse in the air, it will consume both of you. Alara's breath hitched, and Harlan felt her fear ripple through their bond. He turned to her, his heart racing. You are not a curse, Alara, you are my strength. Just as he spoke, a surge of energy pulsed through him. The bond they shared ignited like wildfire, illuminating the darkness surrounding them. Alara stepped forward, her eyes filled with determination. I will not be a pawn in anyone's game. Stay back. Harlan shouted, desperation lacing his voice. But Alara raised her chin defiantly, a spirit shining bright like the moon above. I am not just a cursed one, she declared, her voice steady. I am Alara, and I will fight for my place. A shimmer enveloped her, a glow that radiated warmth and power. The rivals faltered, surprise flickering across their faces. What in the name of the moon? The rival Alpha stammered, taken aback by the transformation. In that moment, Harlan felt the tide shift. Alara was no longer just the cursed one, she was a force to be reckoned with. Together, he shouted, locking eyes with her. Let us show them our strength. With renewed vigor, Harlan and Alara moved as one, a perfect blend of power and grace. They fought side by side, instinct guiding their every movement. Harlan could feel the energy between them, a palpable bond that infused his strength with hers. In the midst of the chaos, Harlan caught a glimpse of Braden, fighting valiantly against a rival werewolf, but struggling against the odds. Braden, he called out, desperation creeping into his voice. We need to end this, there be too many. Braden glanced over, his face a mask of determination despite the struggle. We can't give up, the pack needs us. Alara's eyes met Harlan's, a silent promise passing between them. We can turn the tide, she whispered. Trust me. And with that, she stepped forward, her hands raised, channeling energy that pulsed like a heartbeat through the night. The air thickened with magic, swirling around them as Alara called upon the ancient strength of her lineage. By the moon, I stand against the darkness, she cried, and a wave of light erupted, cascading over the battlefield. The rival pack hesitated, their eyes wide with fear and disbelief. Harlan surged forward, fueled by love and a fierce loyalty to his pack. Now, charge! The Shadow Claw pack rallied, emboldened by Alara's light. Together, they fought back fiercely, reclaiming their ground as the rival pack faltered. The air buzzed with energy as Harlan and Alara led the charge, their bond strong enough to shake the very earth beneath them. As the rival pack began to retreat, the leader glared at Harlan, his expression a mix of anger and defeat. This isn't over Alpha, you've only delayed the inevitable. Harlan stood resolute, chest heaving with exertion but heart full of fire. Yell'll never break what we've built, love conquers all. With that, the rival Alpha turned, leading his pack into the shadows, leaving the clearing quiet but charged with the aftermath of battle. Harlan turned to Alara, who stood panting beside him, her eyes shimmering with both fear and exhilaration. We did it, she whispered, disbelief etched across her features. Harlan pulled her into his arms, inhaling the scent of her earthy and wild, a reminder of the strength they had just unleashed. Together, he murmured, pressing his forehead against hers. We faced the darkness and emerged victorious. But as much as the victory felt sweet, a lingering worry gnawed at the edges of his heart. He could sense Braden's hesitation, the worry clinging to his second in command as he approached them. We need to talk, Alpha, Braden said, his voice somber. This doesn't change how the pack feels. Harlan's heart sank, the weight of the unspoken truth pressing heavily upon him. I know, but we can't turn away from what we've fought for. Braden glanced at Alara, uncertainty casting shadows across his features. You've put us in danger, Harlan. The curse is still a threat. We need to decide where we stand before it consumes us. It won't consume us, Harlan insisted, turning to Alara. We are more than our fears, we are family. Alara stepped forward, her voice clear and strong. I will fight for your pack. I will prove that I am not a curse but a blessing. Braden's expression softened slightly, but doubt remained. It will take time. The pack is still afraid. Then let us show them, Harlan replied, an unwavering determination fueling his words. Let us write our legacy together. Love has power, and it is time we embrace that. As the moon hung overhead, a silent witness to their struggles and triumphs, Holland stood in the aftermath of the battle, his heart racing. The air was thick with the scent of sweat and fear, remnants of the fight that had just unfolded. Alara's presence beside him was a balm amidst the chaos, but the tension in the pack still simmered just beneath the surface. Alpha, Braden's voice broke the silence, laced with urgency. We need to go. The rival pack will regroup. They won't give up easily. Holland clenched his jaw, turning to face his second in command. We can't just run, Braden. We can't let fear dictate our actions. We have to stand our ground. Braden crossed his arms, frustration etched on his face. You're blinded by love. This isn't just about you and Alara, it's about the safety of the entire pack. Alara stepped forward, her voice steady, despite the tremors of uncertainty. I can help. I can. What? Braden interjected, his tone sharp. You're not one of us. You're still the cursed one in their eyes. The hurt in her eyes was palpable, and Holland felt the surge of protectiveness. Alara is more than a curse, Braden. She fought for us today. She deserves our trust. Trust? Trust is earned, not given. Braden argued, the tension thickening. And you've put us all at risk by bringing her here. Holland's heart sank at Braden's words. The divide between the pack and Alara was wider than he had hoped. I know this is difficult, but I refuse to turn my back on her. I didn't ask you to, Alara whispered, her voice breaking. I came here wanting nothing but peace, but I see now that my presence brings only turmoil. Don't say that, Holland urged, taking a step towards her, his instinct to shield her flaring. You belong with us, with me. The moonlight cast a silvery glow over Alara's features, illuminating her sadness. Maybe I don't belong anywhere. My family's curse is a shadow that will always haunt me. And not while I am here, Holland replied, his vow fierce and unwavering. We will fight this together. Braden shook his head, frustration boiling beneath his stern facade. You need to think of the pack. They won't accept the cursed one as their Luna. Holland's heart wrenched at Braden's words, a bitter truth that sat heavy in the air. Then we'll show them that love can conquer fear. Alara's gaze flickered to the ground, her heart clear. You don't understand, Holland. I can be the source of your pack's destruction. A low growl escaped Braden as he paced, his agitation palpable. This isn't just about feelings, there are consequences to your decisions. If the pack turns against you, it could be catastrophic. What do you want me to do? Holland's voice rose, despair mingling with anger. Turn my back on the one I love? Deny what the moon has brought us? The moon has brought you a curse, Alpha. Braden shot back, his eyes fierce with loyalty. You're made as a threat, not just to you, but to everything we've built. Enough. Alara shouted, her voice ringing with unexpected strength. The pack fell silent, all eyes on her. I will not be your scapegoat. I am not cursed. I refuse to be defined by my family's past. Holland could feel the fire in her words, the determination that ignited his own spirit. You're right, he said, stepping closer. You are Alara, and I love you for who you are, not for what they believe you to be. But love isn't enough, Braden countered quietly, the fight leaving him for a moment. We need a plan, Holland. We need to protect the pack. I agreed, Holland said, his voice softening. But let us gather everyone, explain, show them that Alara is one of us. Alara looked down, a flicker of doubt crossing her face. Are you sure that that's wise? I don't want to be the reason the pack suffers. Then let me show you the truth of my heart, Holland said, reaching for her, his fingers brushing hers. Please, we need to make them see. After a moment, Alara nodded, her resolve starting to return. Holland held her gaze, the bond between them flickering like a flame. He turned to the pack, raising his voice to command their attention. Gather around. As the pack members circled them, the tension in the air was palpable. Holland felt the weight of their gazes, a mixture of fear and curiosity. Today, we faced a great threat, but we stood our ground. We fought together. Murmurs spread through the crowd, Braden watching with crossed arms, his skepticism evident. Holland took a deep breath. I know my choice to bring Alara here has caused strife, but she is not a curse, she is my mate. Gasps echoed through the clearing. Alara's hand trembled in his, and he squeezed it tight. Alara saved my life. She fought bravely at my side today. She deserves our trust and our acceptance. What if she brings the curse upon us? Their voice called out, fear tinging the air. It is our choice to shape our own destiny, Holland declared, his voice unwavering. I refuse to let old myths dictate our future. Alara is not alone in this fight. We stand together. Together, Alara echoed softly, her voice filled with warmth and strength. I will fight with you. I will prove that I am worthy of this pack. Braden stepped forward, his expression conflicted. And what if you fail? What if your presence does bring harm? Harlan faced his friend, desperation lacing his words. Then it will be on my shoulders, not hers. I chose this, and I'll bear the consequences, but I want to let fear guide my decisions. The pack stood in silence, weighing the words spoken between them. Alara's eyes shone with a fierce light, and Harlan felt the bond between them shimmer. We can create our own legend, she said, her voice strong. A story of love conquering fear. One by one, the pack members began to murmur, their hesitance slowly beginning to melt away. Harlan dared to hope as Alara's confidence ignited the spark of acceptance among them. But just then, a howl echoed from the shadows, an omen of danger. The pack shifted uneasily, and Harlan's heart dropped. Not now, he whispered, the tension tightening around them. From the tree line, a figure emerged, the rival alpha leading a group of wolves. Harlan's stomach sank as he recognized the danger in their eyes. So you've brought her back into the heart of your pack, Harlan, the rival alpha taunted, his tone dripping with malice. Harlan stepped forward, Alara's hand still firmly in his. What do you want? The rival alpha's gaze flickered to Alara, smirk creeping onto his face. To remind everyone of the curse they've invited, you think love can shield you from the truth? Enough. Harlan growled, his wolf surging to the surface. You have no power here. The rival alpha laughed, a cruel sound that echoed through the clearing. Power? Oh, I have power, Alpha, and I'll show you just how fragile your little world truly is. With a swift motion, he signaled his pack to charge. Harlan dropped into a fighting stance, adrenaline coursing through him. Stay back, Alara, he shouted, but she wouldn't budge. I am not afraid, she declared, determination burning in her eyes. I will fight. As the rival pack charged, Harlan felt the world around him narrow to a single point of focus, Alara. He couldn't let her fight alone. Together, he shouted, launching himself into the fray. Alara was a whirlwind beside him, a magic crackling as she called on the strength of her lineage, illuminating the darkness around them. They moved as one, weaving through the chaos, their bond strengthening as they fought side by side. Braden, too, joined the fray, his loyalty shifting as he witnessed the power of their alliance. We fight together, he roared, rallying the pack around them. Harlan felt a surge of hope as the pack began to unite, hearts beating as one against the encroaching darkness. Alara stood tall, her presence a beacon of defiance. We are not defined by fear, she cried, her voice rising above the chaos. The rival alpha faltered as the united pack surged forward, energy blazing bright. Harlan fought with all his might, defending Alara and the pack he loved. As the battle raged on, Harlan felt the pulse of his wolf, a connection that transcended the physical. He could sense the power of their love pouring into every blow, every movement. Alara was not a burden, she was his strength, a force. The battle raged on, turning the once peaceful clearing into a chaotic symphony of growls and snarls. Harlan felt the adrenaline surging through him as he darted between rival wolves, his instincts sharpened by the urgency to protect Alara. Every strike he landed echoed the promise he had made to her, a promise that they would face the world together. Alara fought beside him, her magic swirling like a tempest around her as she invoked the ancient strength of her lineage. Harlan could see the flicker of determination in her eyes, the way she channeled her energy to shield the pack from harm. Stay close, he shouted over the din, his voice a lifeline in a storm. I want to leave your side. Alara called back, a fierce resolve lacing her voice. Each time a rival wolf lunged at her, she responded with a burst of magic that sent them sprawling backward, their confidence shaken. Harlan marveled at her strength, his heart swelling with pride. But the rival alpha was not easily deterred. He fought with a relentless ferocity, eyes gleaming with disdain as he sought to break their bond. You are a fool, Harlan, he taunted, ducking under a swing aimed at his throat. Your love is a weakness, and I will expose it for the world to see. Harlan's jaw clenched as he leapt forward, driving his fist into the rival alpha's jaw. You will never tear us apart, love is our greatest strength. He felt Alara's presence behind him, a warm spark of energy that fueled his every move. But the rival pack didn't relent, they pushed forward with renewed aggression, determined to exploit any crack in their defenses. Harlan's senses heightened, his wolf urging him to protect Alara at all costs. Braden, watch your flank, he shouted as he swung at another opponent, pushing against the tide of bodies that threatened to overwhelm them. Braden was a whirlwind of strength, his loyalty evident as he defended Harlan's right side. I see them, Alpha, he barked, his voice strained but resolute. But as he swung, a rival wolf tackled him to the ground, hissing with fury. Harlan's heart raced as he caught sight of Braden struggling beneath the weight of his attacker. "Braden," he shouted, but the sound was drowned out by the chaos around him. He couldn't leave Alara's side, not when she was drawing power from the moon above, her magic illuminating the clearing. "I can help him," Alara cried, her eyes fierce as she prepared to unleash her energy. "Harlan, trust me. Stay with me," Harlan commanded, desperation clawing at his chest. "We can risk it, we'll finish this together." But just as he spoke, a howl pierced the air signal. The rival Alpha had summoned reinforcements, and Harlan's heart sank as he saw a new wave of wolves emerging from the shadows, their eyes glinting with malice. "No," he growled, adrenaline surging through him as he met Alara's gaze. The fear in her eyes mirrored his own, but beneath it, there was something else, a flicker of hope. Together, she whispered fiercely, a bond igniting between them that transcended the chaos. "We can do this, Harlan, for our pack, for our love." With a primal roar, Harlan surged forward, his wolf unleashed. He fought with the ferocity of a beast, every motion fueled by the determination to protect Alara. The air crackled with energy as he and Alara moved in perfect synchronization, their hearts beating as one. Braden, freed from his attacker, joined them once more, his expression a mix of determination and disbelief. "We can hold them off like this," he shouted, urgency lacing his words. "We need a plan." Harlan felt the weight of his pack as uncertainty bearing down on him. "We will regroup," he commanded, his voice slicing through the chaos. "Form a circle, protect Alara in the heart of our pack." As the pack began to form the protective barrier, Alara stood at the center, her magic flaring brighter than before. "I'll channel my energy, I can create a barrier," she declared, her spirit unyielding. "Noth," Braden protested, his voice tinged with fear. "That will drain you, we need you fighting." "I am fighting," Alara replied, her eyes fierce. "And I will not let fear dictate our fate, love will guide us." Harlan felt the warmth of her words, a lifeline amidst the turmoil. "Alara, if you are sure." "I am sure," she insisted, raising her arms as the magic began to swell around her. The energy pulsated with life, illuminating the clearing in a radiant glow. Harlan watched in awe as Alara summoned the strength of her lineage, her curse transforming into a powerful gift. "Hold the line," Harlan shouted, encouraging his pack to stand firm. "We fight for our future together." The rival wolves charged, but as they crossed the threshold of Alara's magic, a barrier erupted, pushing them back with a force that rattled the ground beneath their feet. Harlan felt the energy coursing through him, bolstered by the bond they shared. "Now!" Alara cried, her voice ringing like a bell. "Together!" With a roar, Harlan and the pack surged forward, the tide of their unity crashing against the rival wolves. Alara's magic fueled their strength, each attack reverberating with the promise of love and acceptance. Harlan fought alongside Braden, their movements a dance of power and precision. But even as they pushed forward, the rival Alpha fought fiercely, a sneer etched on his face. "You think this is enough to save your pack?" he spat, launching himself at Harlan with a brutal force. Harlan dodged just in time, countering with a swift kick that sent the rival Alpha stumbling backward. "This isn't just about fighting," Harlan shouted, breathing heavily but unwavering. "This is about love conquering fear." The rival Alpha's laughter echoed around them, a sound filled with disbelief. "Love? Love will not save you from the curse." But Harlan could feel Alara's energy surging, empowering him. "You are wrong, it is not a curse, it is our destiny." With renewed vigor, Harlan lunged at the rival Alpha, their struggle a whirlwind of fire and fury. Alara's magic pulsed behind him, wrapping around them like a cocoon, illuminating the night with fierce light. "Now, Harlan!" Alara shouted, her voice cutting through the chaos. Together! With a final surge of strength, Harlan unleashed his wolf, diving into the fray with Alara at his side. Their bond fueled the battle, and the rival Alpha faltered, his confidence giving way to doubt. "Retreat!" he cried, realizing the tide was turning. The pack surged forward, their victory a palpable force. Harlan felt the adrenaline coursing through him, a heady mix of triumph and relief. As the rival wolves retreated into the shadows, Harlan turned to Alara, breathless and alive with emotion. "We did it," he murmured, awe filling his voice. Alara's eyes sparkled with fire, exhaustion and exhilaration mingling in her gaze. Together, she echoed, her smile illuminating the darkness. But their moment was short-lived as Braden approached, his expression grave. "The pack will need time to heal. Your bond has changed everything, and there are still those who fear Alara's presence." Harlan's heart sank. "I know," but we will show them. We will prove that love is stronger than any curse. Alara stepped forward, her voice steady even through the fatigue. I will earn their trust. I will fight for your pack, for our family. Braden regarded her, uncertainty flickering in his eyes. It won't be easy, but seeing you fight today has changed my perspective. You have strength, Alara, but the path ahead is fraught with challenges. Harlan nodded, determination filling his chest. Then we face them together, no more hiding. We will write our legacy. As the moon hung high above them, a silvery witness to their struggles, Harlan clasped Alara's hand, the warmth of her touch igniting a fire within him. This is only the beginning. Together, we will stand against the past and forge a new future. Alara's gaze met his, the depth of her spirit shining bright, full love for us. And as the shadows receded, the lingering whispers of doubt began to fade. The Shadow Claw pack stood united, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, emboldened by the bond of love that defied fate.